Hey there, beautiful people. This is Mentor Shelley coming to you guys to talk about layoffs. I've been talking about that quite a bit lately, and I want to especially address the Spirit Airlines shutdown and how that is affecting quite a bit of people that either were employed with them, their headquarters was in Dania Beach, Florida, South Florida, as other people refer to it as. That's a part of one of the cities in Fort Lauderdale. We're going to talk about that and ways you can, as people that may have gotten caught up in that layoff, we're going to talk about ways that you guys can at least get some reprieve or get some help or at least get started on the road to recovery from that. All right, guys, stay tuned.
Mentoring you to become a better version of yourself.
Hey there, beautiful people. It's Mentor Shelley again. Just wanting to really just touch base with you guys, see how you're doing. It's been a minute since I've done an actual full-blown live stream, so I want to make sure that you're here. If you're here, drop a like, say hello. Welcome to the show. We're going to be talking about just what's being said initially in the press about layoffs, and especially with Spirit Airlines, and how we can truly be of assistance. As a career coach, I want to be able to share with you. Hello, Charwillie, how are you doing? Welcome to the live. It's been a minute, but I'm here, y'all. Life has been lifing, but I'm still here. So I just want you guys to know that we're here. We're here to help. It's a lot of other organizations. It's not just Spirit, but Spirit has been probably more of the prominent ones because, of course, of its nationwide and international presence. So I do want to touch on a couple of things before we get into the meat of what I wanted to discuss tonight. Of course, guys, if you have questions, you want to participate in the conversation, of course, feel free to drop your questions or your contributions to the conversation. We definitely welcome that here. All right, so let's dive in a little bit as to what I wanted to touch on tonight with you guys. Let me put myself at the bottom here so you guys can see more of that screen. All right, so this particular article is from AOL.com. What? AOL still has a website? Well, bless God. All right. What it talks about, really, the writer of this: Spirit Airlines shutdown triggers nearly 5,000 layoffs. I know Fort Lauderdale is definitely being affected by that economically right now. This article was from a few weeks ago, but it was in May. Spirit Airlines' sudden shutdown of its operations on May 2nd, now following customer disruption and canceled flights. It has become a major layoff event, especially in Florida, where the company is headquartered. The budget carrier's collapse is hitting thousands of workers across airports and support operations. The Dania Beach-based airline revealed on May 2nd that it had started an orderly wind down of operations effective immediately after failing to secure the funding needed to help it keep flying. All flights have been canceled. The company posted on their website urging customers not to go to the airport. It's all pretty much everything stopped. They knew it was coming. They had attempted to, of course, come in and really get things going. They know this was coming, and I think they knew that they were trying to avoid it. There were some deals that fell apart last year, and I think the year before that, they were in talks with other airlines to try and help the influx of cash flow. There was a lot of other factors behind the scenes where unfortunately they attempted to stop the shutdown, but it ended up not working out. Based on sustaining the business required hundreds of millions of additional dollars of liquidity that Spirit simply does not have and could not procure. This is tremendously disappointing and not the outcome any of us wanted. Listen, all of us that fly Spirit know that they were the ones that helped a lot of us be able to fly economically with economic prices. They were the ones that introduced, cheaper rates, things of that nature. So as a whole, it does affect our economy on multiple levels, not just the folks that got laid off, but I'm concentrating on the folks that got laid off. Of course, the WARN Act comes into play here when you're talking about layoffs. Several WARN notices were filed, in Florida on May 4th, showing the airline is permanently closing all of its operational locations, including major airport operations and support centers across the country. As a result, Florida alone, the shutdown is affecting almost 5,000 workers across Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Miami, and Dania Beach. Spirit cuts new. Yeah. Oh, wow. The WARN Act record shows over 2,500 workers in Fort Lauderdale alone, 796 workers in Orlando, 796 workers. MCO, I think, is, let me see. Was that Orlando? I think so. 551 workers in the support center at Dania. I know people personally that worked for the support center, either from home or people that actually worked at the counters. Personally know them. The company WARN notice said employees at affected locations would be laid off on May 2nd during a 14-day period beginning on that date. So that's been about 2 weeks now. The layoffs are permanent, and Spirit says operations at those locations will be permanently closed. The notice was dated May 2nd, the same day it announced its wind down, and was listed in the state layoff records with the notice of May 4th. Guys, if you're coming in, say hello. K Business, hello, welcome to the live. I just want to say this, guys. We are in 2026. Nothing surprises me about this. Layoffs are being driven by several factors. In Spirit's case, it's being driven by they've come to this juncture on several occasions already. It's just now at the point of no return. And they now have to, unfortunately, close their doors. There's a lot of people that are reeling from this. And at this point, what I want to do, that was just one of many articles talking about Spirit. What it is that I want to talk about tonight is offering some reprieve. As a career coach, I understand that, people say these different things, but at the end of the day, guys, I know this is not an easy situation to get through. Layoffs have never been an easy situation to get through, especially when either you may have warning, but the way the job market is right now in 2026, just based on some of the other economic factors that we are all dealing with, it's not a pretty sight. And I want to make sure that you guys have what you need as a career coach to be able to help some of our folks with that. All right. So we're going to dive in a little bit. For those of you that are coming in, please say hello. And of course, if you want to, connect and, contribute to the conversation, definitely go ahead and put that in the chat as we are talking about this. I don't want you guys to make the same mistake that a lot of people that are laid off are making. Okay. I want to make sure to keep you out of the unemployment waters as much as possible. We're going to get a plan. We want to be confident, and we want to get you hired as quickly as possible. There is one mistake that will keep you guys employed for months instead of weeks. Most people make it, unfortunately, in the first week. What am I talking about? Panic applying. Reactive panic applying. I understand the adrenaline is running. You got to do something, and you want to make sure that you're taking some form of action while this layoff is going on. 50 applications a day, same resume everywhere. You feel busy, but you're not getting results because reactive panic applying does not work. Why does it not work? Every job description is different. And if your resume is not resonating, or you're not looking and to make sure that there are points on your resume that match up to that particular job description. If you're applying online, a human is not even going to see that resume. I have to be honest and truthful, and I want to set you up for success, not failure. So you want to make sure that you're applying with the mindset and strategy that, okay, I'm going to apply for these jobs, but I want to make sure that I'm applying where it actually get past the applicant tracking system and get to an actual human. Your mindset and strategy is what's going to be very important in this time. It's not the layoff that keeps you employed, it's the strategy that you have. Employers aren't looking for desperate candidates, although some of the situations, desperate times call for desperate measures. Yes, you have needs. Yes, you have economic needs that you need to meet, but we want to have you operate from a place of strategy, not panic. Okay? Let's pick a target role. Okay? Strategy number 1, pick a target role. Your old resume may be costing you interviews right now. So you want to take a look at that wonderful piece of paper that has all the information with all of your details on it and things of that nature. You want to use that information and pick a role. Is that resume speaking to that target role? Not just I did these things or a list of your duties, right? Do you have metrics driven accomplishment, numerical? I increased this by 20%, or I increased their bottom line, or I reduced waste by 30%, or we reduced it by 15%. Are you positioning yourself as a leader or as a solver for these employers? Do you have industry key relevant words on that resume? Your resume needs to reflect what target role you're going for. Let's say, I'll use myself as an example. Okay. In HR, there are plenty of specializations you can go into. You can go into benefits. You can go into payroll. You can do benefits and payroll. You can do a combo. You can go into compensation. You can go into recruiting. You can go into employee relations. All of those are subheadings of human resources. Whenever I'm putting my resume together, if I'm focused on getting employee relations roles, then my resume needs to communicate that I have reduced employee complaints by X number of percent, or I'm positioning myself as a problem solver, because the resume needs to reflect the target role. I know this may not be something that people are used to hearing, but you have to understand that you have to operate from a strategic place. It is not the easiest thing to do when you know you have bills to pay, but it's best to do it from a strategic place versus a panicked place. Okay. Number 2, we was talking about the resume, right? Fix the resume and the LinkedIn profile. I don't know if you've ever looked at any of the videos on this channel or on my page. You have to have a LinkedIn profile. Why is a LinkedIn profile important? Let me put my mug on the screen here. Okay. Your LinkedIn profile can literally open doors for you as a professional. Hear me when I say this. Your LinkedIn profile can literally open doors for you as a professional. Ask me why I am hammering that point right now. 3 or 4 positions that I have been able to actually work in the last 10, 15 years, they found me on LinkedIn. That LinkedIn profile, like your resume, needs to communicate your value. Your headline on LinkedIn needs to be open to work. It should say not just what you do, but what value do you bring? What problems do you solve? That's what employers are looking for. They're looking for problem solvers. Your resume needs to say that. Your LinkedIn needs to say that. What kind of results are you bringing to the table? They want to make sure that you are not just saying those things. You've communicated that on your resume and on your LinkedIn profile. Solution strategy based number 4. Apply strategically. When I say, you hear me saying it strategically. Apply to 5 to 10 high quality applications that your resume is going to directly communicate that you are valuable in these positions because you have these specific skills. You have this specific knowledge base. You create this particular value, right? Customize your resume to every job. Panic applying everywhere is, in a lot of ways, a waste of time. It is important to customize your resume. Now is not the time to just click easy apply. That is not going to work for you. Customize your resume to every job. Follow up and leverage your connection. If you're not doing networking, you weren't doing networking before, now is the time to step into that networking bag head first. A lot of jobs, especially 2026, was based on how things are going. It's who you know, or who you're connected to, or who you're networking with. Because a lot of those jobs are not even being put on LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, other places. So make sure you're applying strategically to 5 to 10 quality applications. Or if you know people, if you're connected on LinkedIn, this is another way you can use LinkedIn. If you're connected in any way, shape, or form, it's time to start talking to some folks. All right? It's time to start talking to some folks. All right? Number 5, create a 30-day plan. This is where most people fail. If you fail to plan, then you plan on failing, folks. It's important to plan. No plan, inconsistent effort, delayed results. Some people from this layoff will stay unemployed for 6 months without a plan. Others can get hired within 30 to 60 days. The difference, one had a plan and worked that strategic plan, one did not. Who are you going to be? Guys, of course, come on. If you have questions, if you're concerned, I know this is a lot, and I'm probably being more direct than I usually am. So I just want to make sure. All right, K-Business, they said they stalked me. They stalked you, but you have your own company now. See? LinkedIn. I know you're talking about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is so important. LinkedIn opened doors for me personally in my professional life. So I want to make sure that you guys can take advantage of that same opportunity. LinkedIn is the business if it's used strategically, folks. If it's used strategically. So, number 5, create a 30-day plan. What is that 30-day plan? What are the 5 to 10 key positions that you're going to apply for? What are those? Right? I can't come up with that plan for you because you know where your expertise is. You know what kind of problems you solve. You know exactly what it is that you want to go for, since you're going through this layoff, but you want to be able to apply for a position that pays better, or you want to pivot into another career path. It all depends on the direction you're taking. Your plan needs to include that direction. All right. I don't know what that direction is. I can help you navigate that. And of course, guys, I also want to be able to offer you additional helpful resources. I do have a workshop called Overcoming Layoff. If you're serious about getting back to work, and I can definitely help you with your 30-day plan in the workshop, it includes that, plus some really nifty resources along with classes on how to structure your resume. Now that you're not in a job, you are looking for another opportunity. Your resume has to be able to be structured to catch employers' eyes that are looking for problem solvers. I have a class specifically geared to that. I have a 7-day plan and I have a 30-day plan, 30 to 60-day plan. In the Overcoming Layoff Workshop. How to rebuild a resume, how to stand out, and how to position yourself for higher paying roles. If you are looking for that and to take that next step, you can go to mentorshelley.com/layoff. I do have on that page the first 3 days, the first 72 hours, what you need to do. I do have a free gift on that same page as well. At the top of the page, you can click, download that. That is absolutely free. That is also a part of the Overcoming Layoff. But I give that to you so at least if money is tight right now, you have some kind of assistance that is going to be available to you guys. I do want to leave you with this. Don't panic. Position yourself, guys. Be strategic with this. I understand it. That is not the easiest thing to do in this situation. I want you to understand. And I want you to understand, I have been in that position as well, being laid off, not sure. And I did a little panic applying myself. But I understood that once I got some, this was years ago, I got some career coaching. And one of the things that they advised me is get strategic about get strategic about what it is that you're doing and where you're applying. And once I got the right counseling, once I got the right information, I applied that information. Now, it took a few months for me to get that information, let's be clear. But once I got that information, within a couple of months of implementing what I was given or what I was coached through, I was able to find a better position. But it took a few months for me to even get to that information. So this is where all of the things I've learned in HR, all of the things that I've gone through myself is in that Overcoming Layoff Workshop. I will also have some live coaching classes as well, based on some of the needs that come up for some of my other students. But guys, I want you guys to have what you need. I know this is not easy to deal with. I know this is not something that is just let's put a Band-Aid on this. No, this is real life dollars and cents here. So I understand it's not easy, but operating from a place of panic is not going to help either. Strategy is so important. So go ahead and go to mentorshelley.com/layoff and at least grab the free resource. And if you definitely want to get the type of coaching and assistance that's neat, that you really need to put yourself ahead of the game, then go ahead and join the workshop. Guys, for those that joined me tonight, K-Business, thank you so much for coming by. Shara Willie stopping by. And for all of those that came in and out of the live tonight, appreciate you guys stopping by. Of course, guys, I want to make sure you have what you need to navigate through this difficult situation. Spirit Airlines is just one of many organizations going through layoffs for different reasons, whether it was for AI. We're going to talk about that in the next couple of weeks coming up, because a lot of those companies saying that it's AI, that's really not the reason, but we'll talk about that. Of course, guys, this is Mentor Shelley. If you guys have questions, you can always go to mentorshelley.com/contact, or you can leave me the questions or messages in the in the comments below. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by. And of course, it's not AI, not in Spirit Airlines sense. It's a lot of other things going on behind the scenes, but we're going to have that discussion in another live session coming up in the next couple of weeks. But thank you. Yeah, healthcare is still hiring as long as you have the proper skills. Skills pay the bills when they're used in the right place. It is so important, guys, for those of you that are making that transition, to make sure that that you are making that transition to a more lucrative place. And of course, guys, if you have questions, you can always leave those questions in the comments or go to mentorshelley.com/contact. Thank you guys for stopping by. And of course, this is Mentor Shelley, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally, to make sure that you have what you need to be able to get through this layoff situation. Yes, Kay, skills pay the bills, because you're lucky that's all you paid. They usually cost more than that. All right, guys, take care. You have a good one.